So my position paper is on Paulo Freire's liberation theology and how I view his liberation theology as merging effectively with alternative licensure programs that are getting more attention in public education. A little background on Freire. He was an educational theorist in the 20th century who focused his work in South America and specifically on the poor and oppressed people and how literacy education could free them from their bonds of oppression. So one of the things that Freire really challenged was the idea of the banking model of education, and he didn't think that children were simply empty vessels to be filled with facts and information, but rather they should engage in critical thinking through education. So part of critical thinking requires an open dialogue among people. So in classrooms, he believed that there should be an exchange of ideas, and these exchange of ideas not only spurred more critical thinking, but they also challenged the status quo of the times. So his idea of dialogue required that the next step to be praxis, and praxis is his idea of action, taking action in the world. So taking action against the oppression that they saw, and taking action then spurred more dialogue, which spurred more action. So the educational issue I'm choosing to do is alternative licensure program, and I think that alternative licensure programs do have validity now because of all the teacher shortages. And there are several reasons that there are teacher shortages, and primarily in rural and urban communities, fewer teachers are entering traditional pathways, and many teachers are about to retire, so it's very important to have alternative forms of licensure. The one alternative licensure program that I chose was Teach for America. I chose to focus on this one because it's one of the nation's largest and most criticized alternative licensure programs, and it's also how I got my start in education 10 years ago. One of the things that TFA is frequently criticized for is their 5-week training program known as Summer Institute, but I believe that it's a very intense training program in the areas of pedagogy, politics, and especially classroom management over that time. Teach for America teachers are frequently criticized for only spending 2 years in education. However, many Teach for America teachers go to other schools to become teachers and also engage in administrative roles as well. TFA does not only recruit from Ivy League schools, it recruits some of the nation's top performers, not only Ivy League schools, but just highly motivated college graduates. The impact of Teach for America teachers has, through several studies, been shown to be as good, if not better than, other first and second year teachers, meaning even though they only spent 5 weeks training in the summer, they still get very similar assessment results. One area where Teach for America and Paulo Freire merge is Freire's idea of acts of cognition. So they both believe that critical thinking spurs liberation and can bring about educational equity for all students. Inquiry-based learning is very important for both Freire and Teach for America. Especially Freire believed that adult literacy was very important, and Teach for America believes that educational equity for all should be the focus. Another area where they merge is Teach for America's commitment to diversity. Their core members, their teachers, need to go through an intensive diversity training program throughout their first year, which opens up dialogue and democracy. So Teach for America's mission is very tied with Freire's idea of praxis, especially because of words like enlist, develop, and mobilize. They really are action-oriented ways of looking at education.